This is 93.5 CHMR FM.
Hello and welcome. This is 93.5 CHMR FM, and you're listening to The Aperture, a weekly hour-long discussion of all things geek culture, probably focusing mostly on video games. I'm Rory DC, and I will be one half of your journey with us.
And I will be the other half. My name is Adam Facey. This is my second time on the radio, so I'm really excited to do this. But before we begin, just want to say that today's show is brought to you by the Rapture Board of Tourism. Come to sunny Rapture, located 20,000 fathoms under the ocean where no lake can reach, where you'll be safe from any governmental organization that seeks to suppress your capitalist way of life. Rapture, would you kindly come and visit? Oh, by the way, for those who are not in the loop, that's a reference to a video game called BioShock. Really good. Check it out.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
All good. Play all of them, but in order.
Actually, I recommend skipping number 2 because it was not made by the...
I think 2 is good, though. I think 2 is good. I side with the good folks at IGN, who generally, I think, can be a little strange, especially on issues like Call of Duty.
And we're off the air because I just punched Rory, but whatever.
Yeah. I think on that count they were pretty good.
Yeah.
So you'll regular listeners of CHMR will tuning into whatever program was on before us, or whatever program was usually on at 1 o'clock. Will know that we're not usually here.
Yes, we do apologize for that, but we think we're cooler. So
that's definitely something that Adam said. So I want listeners to bear that in mind.
So, by the way, any and all complaints send to rory@gmail.com. That's Rory with a capital R, no spaces.
We actually do have an email address, so if you have any complaints, questions, or you just want to say hi, you can email us at the aperture@gmail.com. That is all lowercase, except for the 3 in place of E in Aperture, because apparently there's already a regular The Aperture at gmail.com.
We also have a Facebook site. Hooray!
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that is www.facebook.com/theaperture. Capital T, capital A, but no spaces.
Right, exactly. And so let's talk a little bit about what we plan on doing on this show. I think... Like I said, I think we're going to deal pretty generally with all topics of geek culture, if you will, if you don't find that term offensive, and I don't think we do.
No. Maybe even some nerd stuff in there too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's sort of outline our genesis to this show. What fascinates you in particular about some area of geek culture, and where do you sort of find your specialty?
Well, see, that's a tough one because I consider myself like the geekiest geek to ever nerd a nerd.
Right, yeah.
Which is a technical term. But I've grown up around geek and nerd culture. One of the first movies I ever watched was Jurassic Park. And another really early movie, the one I think that had a huge influence on my life was The Empire Strikes Back, which is the 5th Star Wars movie. And these were shown to me by 2 older cousins of mine, who I think are the 2 coolest people on the planet. And they basically had a huge impact on my life. It let me know more about... It kind of brought me to the fold for video games, for sci-fi, later on fantasy, TV shows, comics involving that kind of genre. Yeah, and then later on I got the superheroes and that kind of things as well. But it really started out with me with Star Wars and Jurassic Park. That's kind of where I see my genesis, as it were. And I also played, air quote, video games when I was 3 or 4 years old, and by that I mean I sat on the couch and watched my 2 older cousins play.
Right, yeah.
And so that's how I kind of got into video games.
So how has that changed? Do you still find yourself in that area where you're primarily movies and video games, or has your branching out sort of found new specialties?
I'm definitely branched out. I'm not so much a TV person. Rory is more of the TV person in our duo. I prefer video games and comic books and tabletop games like D&D, that kind of thing.
I think you definitely have out of our dynamic duo here, I think you definitely have the expertise in written media.
Yes, and I'm a big book lover. Yeah. Besides comic books, but not to say that I don't enjoy movies or TV shows, because I do. I love movies, but I just don't watch as many TV shows as Rory does. Well, I do, but they're all cartoons.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And so I sort of think my evolution was similar, though not the same. I also started out with Star Wars primarily. I mean, that was my home ground for a long time. I've seen The Empire Strikes Back more times than I can count. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's still
so
a great
have I.
movie.
Yeah.
And to my mind, will always be the best of the Star Wars. Yeah. But I
By the
think...
way, there might be spoilers for that movie coming up later on in the show, so just like...
Just in case, yeah. And I sort of took a different path. I sort of went... I think I really started getting into PC gaming when I was a young kid. 6 and 7 and 8 and sort of those younger years. And that's sort of where I discovered online first-person shooters, which I've loved ever since. But I've since sort of... I'm still a PC guy, but I do more console, honestly, in my day-to-day life because my friends have consoles, and that's just easier for us.
Yes, they're dirty PlayStation players.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but our group of 4 friends. Adam's holding on to the Xbox after all these years.
Yes, I am a loyal and steady companion to the Xbox 360.
We've been trying to pry him away. I sort of hope that the next Xbox, whatever that thing is called,
I believe it's called Infinity now, because
that's what I heard. Yeah, they keep changing the name on me. So,
although Infinity would be a good name, it's better than the 720 or Durango or whatever the hell they were calling it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, the problem I have with Durango is that it's already a truck. So
yes, and it's also part of a movie. It's also potentially the title of a movie in case you never saw the movie and you're just reading it out on the box. But
right. Yeah.
By the way, that's no, I'm getting completely confused. Completely ignore that, everybody.
What, you are? Okay.
Yeah, because I said Durango and not. Wait. Hi, this is CHMR 93.5.
Professional quality radio broadcasting.
Yes.
Found on the Aperture. Sort of my evolution, I think, naturally took me to consoles because I think when you're like 12, it's hard to keep up with gaming PC prices.
Well, yes.
Considering I'm 20 now and I still can't do it.
Yeah. We're very poor. Most nerds tend to be poor.
Well, that's the thing. So I mean, I think there's a lot of benefit to going console.
Yeah.
If you're a PC guy and you're like, hey, why am I spending $3,000 every 2 years? So you don't have to. You can,
no.
I mean, what's the lifetime of this generation now? I mean, when did the 360 come out?
The 360 came out, I believe, in 2005. Yes,
that's what I thought. Yeah.
And now it is 2013, so it's at least 2 years later. So that's more mileage than a PC computer would have gotten you. And by that we mean not that your computer would have failed, but every year it seems that new games that come out, especially top-of-line games, I'll give you a good example of the latest StarCraft game, it seems to require more powerful graphics cards, more powerful processors, more powerful RAM.
Yeah, exactly.
We're RAM lovers. And all that we mean by that is when you buy a computer, it usually takes a year or so for the current top-of-the-line hardware in your computer to no longer be top-of-the-line. And then that means that you have to go out and buy new stuff in order to play the biggest and best games. Especially games like StarCraft or Diablo 3 or whatever else is going to be popping up in the PC world lately that requires a complete overhaul of your computer. So it's just easier to get a console because yes, you're blowing $300 or anywhere from $300 to $500, but then you get to keep that. You never really have to upgrade until you get the next console. 5-6 years later.
Precisely, and I think that what was I going to say? I agree with you. No, yeah, I remember an incident at my gaming PC. I was playing Battlefield Bad Company 2, which ran great.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I popped in Just Cause 2, and I couldn't run it to save my life because Just Cause 2 is so big. It needs you need quite a nice processor, I think, to run Just Cause 2 successfully.
For the folks at home, when did in reference to Bad Company 2, when did Just Cause 2 come out? And I can look that up for you if you don't know. Yes,
please do. Yeah.
Okay.
And next time you do that, don't tell me it on the air. Just sort of be like, oh, I remember.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of radio hosts are like legendary for doing that. You'll notice some radio hosts, especially on college radio, will list off these huge facts about songs. Like, how do they know all this? Well, there's a computer to my left here, and that's used for Wikipedia all the time.
It's kind of like what Scotty said Scotty from Star Trek. He said Captain Kirk would give him Scotty, I want the shields fixed, and Scotty's like, all right, sir, I can do it, but it's going to be tight. When in actuality he has lots of time, but he's just making it appear like he doesn't have a lot of time. So Captain Kirk thinks he's a good engineer.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're going to have to take a quick break now. And when we come back, we'll find out when Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Just Cause 2 came out.
Okay.
And we'll continue on sort of introducing you guys to the show and what to expect.